This episode is brought to you by Hasa. Liquid is clearly better. Liquid chlorine is the highest purity, works immediately, has no added cyanuric acid or calcium, and it will leave your pool safe, clean, and clear. And by the bottom feeder professional grade battery powered vacuum system. It sucks to clean pools, so cleaning pools sucks less. Get $100 off with code DVB100.
This episode is brought to you by Skimmer, the #1 pool service software in North America. With Skimmer, you can streamline your schedule, grow your revenue, and keep your customers coming back with 5-star service. Whether you're a one-person operation or an established team, Skimmer is your partner in success. Visit getskimmer.com/poolguy to try Skimmer for free for 30 days.
The Pool Guy Podcast Show. The Pool Guy Podcast Show. The Pool Guy Podcast Show.
Hi, welcome to the Pool Guy Podcast Show. This is something that I preach a lot about, and that is having an automatic pool cleaner in all of your service accounts. And this is something that a lot of companies have implemented in my area. It's something to consider if you haven't implemented this in your service route. Are you a pool service pro looking to take your business to the next level? Join the Pool Guy Coaching Program. Get expert advice, business tips, exclusive content, and get direct support. For me, I'm a 35-year veteran in the industry. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, I've got the tools to help you succeed. Learn more at swimmingpoollearning.com. And I'll start with a negative here to get this out of the way. And I hear this a lot. Well, if the customer has an automatic cleaner, then I won't be necessary. Or if I have an automatic cleaner in the customer's pool, there's not much for me to do. And therefore, they're going to think that I'm not necessary, or why am I charging them so much money for service if there's a cleaner in there? And I would argue that these two statements have some fallacies built into them. The first one is if I have an automatic cleaner at the stop, the customer won't need my services. And there's more that you do at the pool than clean the pool. So I think that argument doesn't really hold a lot of water. You're balancing the chemicals, you're checking the equipment. You're still cleaning the pool, you're just not manually vacuuming it as much, or not having to have to vacuum the entire pool each time you're there. You're going to still spot vacuum the pool. And I'll cover something on that as well. And that is that you could also just spot vacuum the pool every time you're there with maybe the bottom feeder, or if you have another vacuum system. Or if you want to put the vacuum head onto the cleaner hose, you can spot vacuum the pool. So that you're actually vacuuming the pool every time you're there. It's just going to be a lot quicker and more effective for your time. And you wouldn't need to, again, completely vacuum the entire pool. The second argument is that if the cleaner is in there, there's not a lot for you to do at the pool and you won't be able to justify your rate. And that's not true either, because you could still do a lot of things there. You can spend extra time brushing the tile. You can brush the pool twice over if you need to. You can, of course, skim the pool until there's nothing there, check the chemicals. So you can utilize your time in different ways. But yes, you're going to probably spend less time there because you're not fully vacuuming the pool every time with your manual vacuum hose, going back there and vacuuming that pool. And I guess I can throw one more negative that I hear out there. That is, well, the customer is not going to like the pool hoses in their pool. So it's something that I'm not even going to approach because they like looking at their pool and I like the clean look of not having any hoses. But I would argue that the pool actually looks much cleaner with an automatic cleaner, and they're cleaning up the bottom of the pool every week, than a pool that you look at the surface and yes, there's no hoses there, granted, but the bottom of the pool has leaf debris on it, and so it's unsightly in that respect. So it's one of those things where the pool hoses really are not an issue that I run into. Now, on occasion, I have run into customers that don't like him, but it's not one of those things that's very common. It's more rare to have a customer not like the hose in the pool versus a customer not like the debris on the bottom of their pool, if you know what I'm saying here. So I think those arguments don't really hold a lot of weight to them. And the positive of the automatic cleaner outweighs that. Now, which automatic cleaner should you get for your pools? Well, it depends on your region. Here in Southern California, my area, mostly dirt and very small leaf debris. course, there are exceptions where there's larger leaf debris in some pools, but the leaf debris is manageable. When I say small or less light leaf debris, if you had an automatic cleaner with a canister and you're using the small Hayward one, the W530, I believe that's what it is, that wouldn't be filled every week with debris because there's just not a lot of leaf debris. But the automatic cleaner does pick up a lot of dirt because we're in a really dusty area. Even though I'm not technically in a desert area, there's still a lot of dirt around here and it gets in the pool. So the suction side cleaner would be the primary cleaner in my service area. Now, I do have some return side cleaners or pressure side cleaners. On occasion, you're going to run into those here. In Southern California, the Polaris 280 is one that comes to mind. But you don't have too many of those because dirt is more concerned than leaf debris. And then you have, of course, parts of the Midwest where leaf debris is more prevalent, parts of Texas where pressure cleaners are more prevalent because leaf debris is a bigger issue than dirt. And I think that's fine. You have to find your region and find out what cleaner works best. I always default to a suction side cleaner because they do the best with dirt. And I think in any region you're at, dirt is going to be an issue on the bottom of the pool. Now, this is also a good selling point to the customer, and this is one I use a lot, is that with an automatic cleaner, picking up the dirt and small leaves that fall to the bottom of the pool, you're going to use a lot less chemicals because the leaf debris is organic and it takes some of the chlorine, it uses up some of the chlorine, and also the dirt that could fall into the pool. If it's not vacuumed up right away, sometimes after a rainstorm, some mud gets washed in there. Sometimes a lot of dirt gets washed in there, especially from the trees. And some of this dirt, especially the one that's in the soil, can have metal ions in there and cause staining. And you let the customer know that with a suction side cleaner, and even with a pressure side cleaner in some respects, picking up the dirt, it's one of those things where it's not going to stain the pool, and it's kind of a way to safeguard staining of the pool. And if you think this is not true, this is a very true statement because I've had pools that have gotten flooded with rainstorms, the mud running off into the pool that didn't have automatic cleaners in them back then. And after I vacuumed out the pool, even a week later, there is staining on the bottom that is pretty much permanent without an acid wash because it's a plaster pool from the dirt that was sitting in the bottom of the pool that week from the mud getting in there. So this is a real issue that can happen. I also had a pool where they were doing roofing and they dropped little things in the pool, and the automatic cleaner it actually picked up the small little clippings of the staples and whatever they were doing, and they were inside the canister, and those normally would stain the bottom of the pool if they were left there for some time. So it does prevent staining from leaf debris and dirt. And so it's a great way to sell these to the customer that it does have that benefit so that the pool is not going to have stains from not being vacuumed. You're there once a week vacuuming the pool. If there's no cleaner in there vacuuming it during the week, that is a possibility. Another benefit that I like to highlight is the fact that with an automatic cleaner in there, I save a lot of time on my pool route. Now this may sound counterintuitive telling the customer that it makes your job easier and you get through the day quicker, but you can actually flip that around to your benefit by saying that since I can do more accounts and I'm not bogged down by vacuuming the pool for 10 minutes at each account, I'm able to actually keep my rates lower than they normally would be if I had to spend so much time vacuuming each pool out every week, and therefore my business is more efficient and I have more accounts, and therefore I keep the rates lower versus if I had to vacuum every pool in my route, I would have less pools, have to charge more. In fact, some companies will charge $10 or $20 more per month for pools with an automatic cleaner. There's some guys here that are pretty spoiled. They won't even take on an account without a cleaner in there. If the customer doesn't want to agree to get one, then they won't even take that service account. I know that's kind of weird, but people will do that in my area. So that is the benefit, letting them know that it makes your business more efficient. Therefore, it affects the rates you charge, which means that rate increases won't come as often or as high as another company, or as you would have to do if you didn't have automatic cleaners in the pools on your route. And the Pool Guy Podcast Show has teamed up with UPA to bring you affordable, reliable liability insurance starting at just $64 a month. Get up to $2 million in coverage, and the members of my coaching group get an even lower rate. Protect your business and your peace of mind. Sign up with UPA today by clicking the link in the podcast description. I also explained to the customer that, look, I'm here for 20-25 minutes a week. I'll vacuum the pool and clean it. But so many things happen, 20 minutes out of the whole week is a small fraction of time. And so many things can happen during that week that, again, dirt can get in there, leaves can get in there. The gardener could come and blow a lot of stuff into the pool. Anything can happen, a small windstorm. And having the automatic cleaner in the pool will be like if I'm there all week long. And so it's something that can really be a great asset to you, because your pool will stay swim ready all week long. And it's something that a lot of customers like, if you're there on a Wednesday and they're going to use their pool on the weekend or Friday, you don't have to go back there and vacuum the pool for them before the party, because the automatic cleaner's in there cleaning the pool. You wouldn't go back there anyway and vacuum the pool before their party. And it's kind of like you're there and the pool is clean. And the customers like having a swim ready pool. I don't know, something psychological about getting to your pool, getting ready to jump in, and having a bunch of leaves and dirt at the bottom. It just doesn't look inviting or clean. And so I like to tell the customer that if you use your pool often, the automatic cleaner is a great tool for you, because, if the kids want to go in the pool on Friday, they can jump in and you don't have to worry about dirt being stirred up. Now, yes, there may be some leaves in there. It's not going to be 100% clean all the time, but at least there's not going to be a lot of dirt they're going to stir up and get everywhere and make the water cloudy. So yes, it does benefit those customers that use their pool frequently. It's something that, is a good asset to have in the pool. Now, the question I get asked often is, well, what do I do with the cleaner if I'm in the pool? And a lot of times I'll tell them, if you have the cleaner in the pool, I'll teach them how to take it out of the pool. A lot of times I'll tell them just leave it in the pool and the kids can swim around it. If the pool's off, just drag it so that the hoses are on one side of the pool, and that's perfectly fine. I don't really like the customers taking it out of the pool and coiling it up into a kind of in a circle, like a snake all coiled up, because what happens when they do that, it gets kind of in a situation where the hoses get a memory and they can't get, they won't get the full coverage anymore because they're going to be kind of curved all the time. So don't coil it up. If anything, take the cleaner out and lay it out long ways on the pool deck. A lot of customers will do that. They'll take the cleaner out and just lay it on the deck lengthwise so that, 30-foot hose is just laid out there perfectly fine. Most people won't take each hose section off and do that. But coiling it up is something you have to tell them not to do. I told the story before, and I think it's really a funny story, because I had a customer that had a party, took the cleaner out. I'm looking all over the yard for it. I couldn't find it on the side. I couldn't find it. And he has a garage that he leaves open. I couldn't find it there. And then finally I had to text him and say, I'm looking for the automatic cleaner to put back in. Where is it? He goes, I put it in that box by the pool. I'm like, the box by the pool? So I look over and there's a little something you buy at Target to store towels in. It's like 1 foot by 1 foot. And it's used mainly for towels and like putting things in there. And it's like 2 feet tall and like 1.5 feet wide. And I open it up, and sure enough, the cleaner is in there coiled up. It was a Zodiac Wahoo, actually. It wasn't anything expensive, but it was all coiled up, and the head was stuck in there, and they had the lid closed on it. It actually fit in there. I'm not sure how they got it in there, but it actually fit in there coiled up. And so talk about having a bad memory as far as the hoses go. When I put it in the pool, it was just like impossible to get it to go anywhere but a circle. There's like a little trick where you take like a few hose sections and move them around. And so you kind of got like it's straightish kind of, and then it does clean pretty decently, but still never as well. You can also take the hoses off by section and lay them out in the sun on the grass. And if it heats up to like 100 degrees, they may kind of get back to their regular shape. They may not. But explain how to take the cleaner out of the pool. I think that's the key if you have automatic cleaners in the pool. if the customer is having a big party over the weekend or something, I usually tell them I'll take the cleaner out for them on my service day. And that's usually something I would do if I'm afraid they're going to break it. And if the weather's clear and it's not going to be windy or anything, it should be perfectly fine at that point. Sometimes I'll actually go to the pool before the party if it's on my route and take it out, because sometimes I don't like the customer messing with it, especially if it's a Polaris pressure cleaner. They can break off that wall connector pretty easily by not knowing how to remove it. So again, educate the customer how to remove the cleaner so that if they have a party, they can use it. But most people just leave the cleaner in there and swim with it in the pool. It's not a big deal at all. I think if you have employees, you want to make it so that the customer knows that the employee is going to vacuum the pool every time, no matter if you have the cleaner in there or not. And that kind of gives them peace of mind that an employee is going to actually be doing some work there. So I would, of course, get a vacuum system for your employees, bottom feeder, Riptide, and let the employee know that each time you're at the stop, drop it in the pool, spend 5 minutes vacuuming the pool so that you've satisfied that clause, and then do the other stuff you need to do. Because with an automatic cleaner in there, the pool is going to be pretty clean, and you just have to spot vacuum the pool. You have to vacuum an attached spa out every week. And again, with a vacuum system, especially the bottom feeder or shrimp with a cartridge filter assembly on top, you can use that to vacuum out the spas and spot vacuum any dirt in the pools, and not really have to have a manual vacuum or carry a manual vacuum with a hose on your truck at all anymore. It takes the place of that. You can also use the WaterTech devices to vacuum out spas. I like using like the Pool Blaster Max or the Volt FX8 is pretty great for that with the sand silt bag. And you have to fulfill the vacuuming duties for the spa, of course, and for the step areas and areas where the cleaner doesn't pick up the dirt. You're still responsible to vacuum those areas out, but certainly it's not going to take your employee or you more than a few minutes to spot vacuum a pool, where if you're manually vacuuming a pool, it would take you a lot longer to set everything up and then vacuum the pool, which is, in my opinion, really unnecessary when you have automatic cleaners out there. And there's really not a lot of objections that people can have to them. They may not like the hoses. In that case, if a customer really is insistent that they don't like the hoses, get them a robotic pool cleaner and either cordless or corded, and have them use that every week as their automatic cleaner. I'm not a big fan of using those on weekly service because the customer has to actually do their part by putting it in, but they are effective if there's no other alternative. The customer is insistent they don't like the hoses, a cordless robotic pool cleaner definitely would be an option for you. I also like the solar surface cleaners as well, like the Beta. And now, of course, you're not going to do anything at the pool if you have a suction cleaner and a solar-powered solar cleaner on top. But the least you can clean while you're there, I think the better for you, because you can do other things and, of course, get through your day a lot faster. And the pool is going to look really, really nice for the customer all week long, not just on your service day or the day after your service, but really all the rest of the week. It's going to look really good, and it's going to really make your service shine, I think, to a level to where the customer's like, man, my pool looks great every day. They don't really think about too much that the cleaner's doing a lot of the work for you at the pool. They just like the fact that the pool looks great every day. You know, they can get in the pool whenever they want. And don't overthink it. Don't think that the customer is standing there analyzing, saying, well, you know, this cleaner's doing a lot of work and I don't think I want pool service. That's not how they think. And besides, most people that hire you for pool service really do need pool service because they don't have time to do it on their own. And I wouldn't feel threatened by an automatic cleaner. And I definitely would recommend having an automatic cleaner in every single pool on your route. That saves you time and money, increases your profitability, and it also increases customer satisfaction as the pool is going to look really nice all week long. If you're looking for other podcasts, you can find those by going to my website, swimmingpoollearning.com, clicking on the podcast icon at the banner. There'll be a drop-down menu of over 1,900 podcasts. And if you're interested in the coaching program I offer, you can learn more at poolguycoaching.com. Thanks for listening to this podcast. Have a great rest of your week, and God bless. This episode is brought to you by HASA, providing products that deliver clean, healthy water for every aspect of everyday life. The bottom feeder battery-powered vacuum system, portable, powerful, and only weighs 12 pounds. And Skimmer. Get Skimmer, America's #1 pool service software. Podcast listeners can try Skimmer for free at getskimmer.com/poolguy.